Cecilia Olivet. I am from Uruguay, but I work in the Netherlands with an organization called Transnational Institute. The European Free Trade Agreements are an instrument that the European Union has been using for quite some time now to advance a liberalization agenda, both on trade issues, but also on investment. When the WTO Roja round got stalled or slowed down, the European Union, as well as other countries like the US and also some of the developed countries, realized that they were not going to be able to get some issues that they had on their agenda through the WTO, the World Trade Organization. And in that sense, they started moving without abandoning the negotiations at the multilateral level, but they started putting much more efforts towards the bilateral efforts to sign FTAs, because they knew that they could include in those FTAs issues that they were not able to include at the World Trade Organization level. Well, one of the issues included in the FTAs is the issue of intellectual property rights. And there are different ramifications of the issue of intellectual property rights and patents, but one of the affected sectors by intellectual property right demands is the issue of medicines. And therefore, there will be a need by countries that sign FTAs to agree to give patents to certain medicines that before could be produced as generic medicines. The European Union is trying to push this issue of IPR, intellectual property rights, and patents on medicines, but there are some countries that are resisting, countries that at the moment have also companies that produce, national companies that produce generic medicines, countries like India, countries like Brazil, countries like Peru. And since the European Union is not able still to have patents on some of the medicines, what they're doing at the moment is they're using a strategy, which is that any container that passes through an European port, that it's going from a country like, for example, India, to, let's say, a country in Latin America where generic medicines are being exported to, and in both countries it's completely legal since they don't have patents for those generic medicines, but if they pass through a port in the European Union, the European member state, it's allowed to seize those medicines. Well, it's not allowed, but I mean, they do it. They seize the medicines. And it has happened also that they destroyed these cargoes. And basically, they stop these containers of generic medicines to being exported, for example, from India to Brazil, Colombia, Peru, Ecuador. And this has happened. It happened over the last couple of years. There's actually at least 18 cargoes that were stopped in different European Union ports over the last couple of years, and it's something that civil society and groups are really fighting, and even the countries where these generic medicines are coming from and the ones that are the receivers have been denouncing, because it's completely illegal that the European Union is it's stopping these cargoes. Organizations and groups, even countries, governments, they saw the European Union with different eyes. They thought it was a much more benevolent force than the US. They were more open. But with the time and as the negotiations advanced, and they realized that actually it was exactly the same, and as I said before, in some cases even more aggressive. Another strategy that the European Union has been using is to show that they are actually engaging with civil society. So they do organize these civil society dialogues, they come to countries and they attend meetings with civil society, but in fact nothing happens afterwards. I mean, we've had this type of meetings now for over 10 years. and there's not been one single result out of these encounters. In general, it's just been used by the European Union to legitimize that they actually engage with civil society, but they have not taken on board any of the critiques, any of the evidence that these agreements will actually have a very strong impact on the lives and livelihoods of people in the South, but also in Europe itself.